Treatise. Translated, with introductory essays, comments, and notes by Hsueh-li Cheng, 1982. 11. The Three Times. In this chapter Nãgãrjuna examines the three temporal relations, namely, earlier than, later than and simultaneous with. He attempts to show that the production of particular things is impossible because it cannot occur in any temporal moment, and because a temporal relation between events cannot be established. This chapter ends his discussion of the possibility that a particular object or event can be causally produced. In his last chapter Nãgãrjuna will argue that production as such cannot be established. Again, all things are empty. Why? A cause is neither earlier than, later than, nor at the same time as an effect. As it has been said, earlier than, later than and simultaneous with such events are impossible. How can events be produced by causes?
It cannot be true that a cause is prior to an effect. Why? If a cause exists earlier and from it an effect is produced later, there would be no effect initially, and what would be its cause? If an effect is prior to a cause, then the effect has already been established when there is no cause, and why must it need a cause? If a cause and an effect exist at the same time, there would be no causal production either. For example, the horns of a cow are produced simultaneously, the left and the right do not cause each other. Then the so-called cause cannot be the cause of the effect, and the so-called effect would not be the effect of the cause, for they are produced at the same time. Therefore the three temporal relationships between cause and effect are unattainable. Comment: causal production must be performed in certain temporal relationships. A cause is either earlier than, later than, or simultaneous with an effect. But Nãgãrjuna wants to show that the temporal moments of priority, posteriority, and simultaneity are empty, hence the functioning of causal production cannot be established. Since causality is empty, all things are empty. For all things are causes and effects. Nãgãrjuna's analysis of the three times and his argument for their emptiness are intended to demonstrate that all things are empty.
Question. Your refutation of causation cannot be established in the three temporal relationships either. If refutation is prior to the refutable, then there would not be the refutable, and what could refutation refute? If the refutable is prior to refutation, then the refutable has been established, and why does it need to be refuted? If refutation and the refutable exist at the same time, there would be no causal relationship between them. For example, the horns of a cow are produced at the same time, the left and the right do not cause each other. Thus refutation does not cause the refutable, and vice versa.
Answer: your refutation and the refutable have the same kind of mistake. If all things are empty, there can be neither refutation nor that which is to be refuted. Now you say that my refutation is empty, this establishes what I say. If I say that there must be refutation and the refutable, I would be mistaken, as you claim, but I do not say there must be refutation and the refutable, so I should not be troubled by your charge. Comment: the Madhyamikas often claim that they do not hold any position, or have any viewpoint of their own. What they are doing is simply using what other people believe to point out that the opponent's viewpoint involves certain contradictions or absurdities. Their refutation and criticism of the opponent's theory are not a negation of something which is real, nor is it done for the sake of the affirmation of their own viewpoint, but as a complete negation. It does not presuppose anything. For them, all affirmations and negations should be given up. Therefore Nãgãrjuna claims that the opponent's refutation and criticism of his refutation of others' theories do not trouble him, but rather support what he says.
Question: we do observe that a cause is prior to an effect. For example, a craftsman makes a jar. A cause could also be later than an effect. For example, because of disciples there is a master, and they are nori as the disciples, only after teaching takes place. A cause and an effect may also exist at the same time. For example, the light and its brightness exist at the same time. So it is not right to say that a cause is neither prior to, nor later than, nor at the same time as an effect.
Answer: your example of a craftsman making a jar is not a correct one. Why? If there is no jar, yet, what would the craftsman be the cause of? As with the craftsman, nothing can be a cause prior to an effect. It is also untenable that there is a cause which is later than an effect. If there is no disciple, who can be a master? Therefore, a cause which is later than an effect is untenable. If you say that like light and brightness, cause and effect exist at the same time, you still maintain a doubtful cause. Suppose the light and its brightness exist at the same time, how can they cause each other? Thus causes and conditions are empty. Hence you should know that all created things, non-created things and all sentient beings are empty.